Shtam manamapi shachiputam atraswarupam arupam tasya gajavipuim maturim gosvatim Radha Kundam Givaram Ahoradika Manavadasam Prapto Yasya Patitakipaya Sri Gurum Tam Natosmi Gurave Gaurachandrai Radhikai Tadai Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Ananda Lilamaya Vigrahaya Hima Bhaddavyachavi Sundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasapradaya Chaitanya Chandaya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandaya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandaya Namo Namaste Bhaktya Vina Aparada Lakshman Sham Sundar Shikanda Shikar Smaha Sumurli Manora Radhika Sukamama Kripanidhe Sapriya Jana Kim Kurim Kuru Tavaivasmi Tavaivasmi Najivamittayavana Jivikyaya Devi Tam Nama Charantikam. First of all, I offer my Sastang Dandavat Puspanjali, my heart like flowers thousands and thousands of times, at the lotus feet of my holy master, my supremely worshipable spiritual guru. Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Vishnupad Ashtotara Sata Sisimad Rupanugatari Varya Shila Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Swami. Secondly, I offer my pranam thousands of times at the lotus feet of my Param Gurudev Srila Prabhupada and our Sri Rupananda Gaudiya Guru Prabhupada. And finally, I offer my pranam to all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavas. When our most beloved son of Mother Sachi. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met with Srila Sanatana Goswami Bhai on the bank of the Ganges river at the Manikanikar Ghat in the Varanasi. There, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was describing the glories of bhakti to Srila Sanatana Goswami. And he made a point which is so essential, but also rarely understood, or sometimes not accepted, or sometimes accepted, but in a dogmatic way. That is, the necessity, the absolute necessity of Sadhu-Sanga. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Sadhu-Sanga, Sadhu-Sanga, Sarva Shastra Koi, Lavamatra Sadhu-Sanga, Sarva Siddhi Hoi. O Sanatan, all of the scriptures repeat again and again the necessity of Sadhu-Sanga, association with saints. In just a lava, a fraction of a second of association can give Sarva-Siddhi, all perfection. So what is Sadhu? And what is Sangha? The goal of our life, that is called sadhya, which is to be attained. And the method which is adopted in order to attain it is called sadhana. So, who teaches us our sadhya, the goal of life, and adjusts our practice in such a way that it is aimed, one-pointed, going directly towards that goal, who adjusts our sadhana, is called sadhu. Who makes clear to us the goal of life, sadhya, and refines our sadhana, is called sadhu. Sadhu also means who is in sambandha, relationship with the sadvastu, with the eternal reality, is called sadhu. And what is a sangha? Sangha means samyak rupain, completely. Anugaman, to follow. So sam and ga, completely, ga means go. To completely follow in the footsteps of that sadhu, it can be called Sadhu-Sanga. That following is in two ways. Achar and vichar. Gora amar, mukhi bolile nahi chale. Gora achar, gora vichar, lale fale fale. Sri Jagadananda Pandit has said, many persons say, Gora amar, Gora is mine. I am Gaudiya, follower of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. By their mouths they tell, but actually they are not following. Only Gaur Achar, that means Mahaprabhu's behavior, Achar. Gaur Achar, Gaur Vichar. And his internal perspective, his deliberation, his considerations. When we follow this out to the end inwardly, then the fruit of being Gaudiya, follow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, can come. You know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sat down on the bank of Godavari also with Roy Ramananda and asked him, "Oh Roy Ramananda, Satyara Nirnyay, please define with the evidence from the scripture what is the goal of life." So here we see the example of Sadhu-Sanga, because they will discuss first the sadhya and then the sadhan to attain it. So when Mahaprabhu said to Ramananda, "Please define with the scriptural evidence what is the goal of life," then Ramananda said, "My dear Mahaprabhu, you should become a Manjari." No, actually he didn't say that. No, he didn't say that. First, he discussed the nature of dharma, the naimitic dharmas, which are related to the body and mind, that is Varnashram dharma. It is a platform to begin spiritual life. But Prabhu said, this is external, go further, go deeper. And then he explained karmarpana, performing one's duties and offering the fruit of duty to Krishna. Prabhu said, go further. So then he discussed the karma tyaga, giving up worldly duties. And then he discussed Jnana Mishra Bhakti. Bhakti mixed with the cultivation of knowledge. Then Jnana Shunya Bhakti, Bhakti which is completely devoid of the attempt to understand the opulence of the Lord. And he spoke about Prema Bhakti. He spoke about Vaidhi Bhakti and Raganuga Bhakti. And then relationships in Sakyaras, as friends, Vatsalya as parents, and then the highest of all, Madhurya Rasa. And giving pranam from Srimad Bhagavatam, how Uddhava has glorified the gopis of Vrindavan. Then he became more focused on the glories of Srimati Radhika. In other words, this is Sadhu-Sanga. In Sadhu-Sanga, one learns how to very carefully and with the utmost respect, step by step, approach that divine, astonishing, unlimited realm of Radha and Krishna. Otherwise, if one will try to go too fast, without having proper foundation, then only Prakriti Bhav, material sentiment will come. And the actual Amrit, actual nectar will not manifest. If you want Amrit and nectar, you have to churn. Like making butter. You have to churn the milk. So it's hard work, some sweat. Okay. You have to exert yourself and be patient. After some time, then the butter comes out. So this is why rasa has been called Amrita. Because it will not come in your fist in a second. You have to follow the process which has been shown by our acharyas to gradually, in stages, and with the utmost honor, approach that which is far, far beyond our present capacity. If you want to fix it because it keeps coming. He's so humble to give him pranam. So Mahaprabhu told Sanatana Goswami, Krishna Bhakti Janma Mool Hoye Sadhu-Sanga Prema Bhakti Janme Teno Punar Mukhya Anga. Very good. O Sanatan, the root cause of the appearance of bhakti in the heart of any living entity is the association of a sadhu. even when you come to the stage of praying, Sadhu-Sanga is Mukhya Anga, the most important ingredient in your devotional life. This is a very important verse. It should be understood together with the previous verse. Because someone will say, Lavamatra Sadhu, in only a split second association with the Sadhu, you can get all perfection. So I have had a split second association, don't need any more. So now Mahaprabhu is speaking this verse. No, I am sorry, this idea is wrong. Even when you get praying, you still need Sadhu-Sanga. Because even the sages of Dandakaranya, even the Vedas personified, who took birth in Krishna's Leela as gopis. When Krishna called them on his flute, in the night of the Rasa Leela, some of them, they were trapped inside their homes by their in-laws and seniors, and they could not go to the Rasa Leela. Yoga Maya had stopped them. Why? Because their love, their praying had not sufficiently developed to Sneha, Man, Pranaya, Raga, Anugrahaya, and up to Mahabhav. Only those whose love has come up to Mahabhav are qualified to enter the Rasa Leela. So even when praying comes, even when you take birth in Krishna Leela, if you don't associate with the Nityasiddha gopis who have that Mahabhav, then you cannot go to Rasa Leela. So in all stages of our spiritual life, from the beginning, we cannot say to the end because there's no end. It is Ananta. It has a beginning but no end. But at all times, the Sadhu-Sanga, association of those who are further along the path, who have entered into the mysteries which are yet to be revealed to us, their association is necessary. Why? Perhaps you know the history of Muchukunda Maharaj. He had a benediction that he could sleep, and if anyone woke him up because he was very tired, he would burn them to ash with his eyes. So he was sleeping in a cave. When Kaliyavan invaded Mathura, he came to fight with Krishna, but Krishna put down his weapons and walked away. So Krishna became famous as a coward. The captor should never leave the battlefield. And Kaliyavan was running after him. And even though Kaliyavan was sprinting as fast as he could, and Krishna was just casually strolling, he could not catch him. Because Krishna is the master of time and space. What is reality? It's whatever Krishna wants it to be on that day. So Krishna walked up the mountains and went inside a cave. And Kaliyavan breathlessly arrived there. And he saw Krishna, what is this? First he runs away, now he's sleeping. And he went and kicked him out. So then that sleeping person wasn't Krishna, it was Muchukunda. He woke up and fire came from his eyes and Kaliyavan was incinerated. So Krishna can defeat Kaliyavan just by going for a peaceful stroll and not doing anything. So when Muchukunda saw Krishna was there, he offered prayers. Very beautiful prayers. And this prayer, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught to Sanatana Goswami. To impart to him the profound knowledge of the nature of Sadhu-Sanga. Bhavavago janato yada bhavat janasya yachita satsamagama satsangamo dhyahi tadaiva satkato paravareshe tvai jayate rati. He said, "Oh my Lord, when a soul is wandering lifetime after lifetime, through many, many lifetimes in this material world, when his journey, his sojourn in the darkness of the material energy is about to be terminated forever, at that time, he comes into the association of a sadhu. And by that association, paravareshe tvai jayarte rati, he gets rati. In other words, divine, spiritual love appears in his heart for you. Paravareshe. Paravareshe means the Lord of cause and effect. The implication is that, oh my Lord, it is you who have arranged that Sadhu-Sanga is the cause that produces the effect, that rati appears in the heart of the living entities. This is the implication. What is rati? Rati is not a sentiment of the material mind or intellect. Rati is the Shuddha Sattva Visheshatma Prem Prayojan Prabhu. It is the mixture of Krishna's consciousness, spiritual consciousness potency, Samvit, the essence of Samvit, and the essence of Ladini, the pleasure potency of the Lord, combined together, enters the heart and causes one to be engaged spontaneously in ecstatic transcendental love. So this verse is very profound. Here, he's saying, Janasya jahachuta satsamarma Sadgato. Sadgato means, oh Krishna, you are the shelter of the sadhus. And Sadgato also means spurti. Spurti is internal, momentary vision of the Lord. And so the implication is that when we come into Sadhu-Sanga, it is not that the sadhu imparts to us so much data or information about the Vedas, like a Wikipedia. No. When we come into Sadhu-Sanga, by hearing from them, their katha, their kirtan, their presence causes a spurti in the heart, a momentary vision of the form of Krishna. And it may be momentary, like a flash of lightning. And it may go away, and it may not come back very soon. But it's enough that the living entity realizes, I exist to serve Krishna. Krishna is real. He is the Supreme Lord, and I am His servant. I must search Him out at all costs. This is the effect of Sadhu-Sanga. Satsangamo yahi tadaiva sadgato. He said, yahi tadaiva. In that place, that means when we are together with the sadhu, tadaiva. Eva means only. Tada means then. So only then, when we have Sadhu-Sanga, such an experience comes. It is not available anywhere else. In other words, the divine Shraddha, the divine faith, the Shraddha Shabde Vishwaskari Sudrida Nischay, the unflinching conviction that Krishna exists and I am His servant. I must attain Him. I must serve Him. I exist only for this. Such faith only comes from Sadhu-Sanga, not from anything else. It cannot be awakened in any other way. Perhaps you know that when Sri Krishna appeared, He was born from the womb of Mother Yashoda in Gokul Mahavan. And simultaneously, his Vaibhav Prakash, that means his opulent feature, full grown, with 4 arms, carrying the disc club conch and lotus flower, appeared in the prison cell of Kamsa. So before he appeared in the prison cell of Kamsa, when Vasudeva Krishna was in the womb of Devaki, at that time, all the devatas, the demigods from around the universe, they came and they offered prayers to Krishna within the womb of Devaki. They said, Swayam samuttirya sudustaram dumam bhavanavam bhimam adabra suridaha bhavat padam baurunava mattate nyama bhavat sadanugraho vahan nidaya yama sadanugraho vahan. It means, oh my Lord Sri Krishna, all demigods are praying. Your sadhus, they personally themselves cross over the ocean of material existence by taking shelter of the boats of your lotus feet. Those sadhus, they are adabra sauridaha. They have such friendship, such kindness to all the living entities in this world. Why? Because even though they cross over the ocean of material existence in the boat of your lotus feet, they leave that boat on this shore, on this side of the shore, so that others may cross. You see, usually if you get in a boat and you cross to the other side, then the ones who are left behind, they cannot cross because the boat's on this side now. But sadhus are so kind, they cross, but the boat is still there for others. So, here, Krishna is called sadanugraha. Sadanugraha bhavan. Oh Krishna, you are sadanugraha. This word sadanugraha has so many meanings. Sad here means the sadhus, the pure devotees. And anugraha means mercy. So when these two words are joined together, the joining of words in Sanskrit is called samas. And even though two words may be joined together, depending on what type of samas it is, the meaning will come out completely differently. It may be that the second word of the samas has more emphasis and the first word is an adjective. Or it may be that both words have equal importance. It may be that both words are adjectives referring to something else which is not even mentioned in the samas, in the compound, like this. So Sanskrit is a very interesting language. And all the meanings can be possible there. So here sadanugraha, it has predominantly three meanings. First meaning is sadanugraha, my Lord, you only give mercy, anugraha, to sad, your devotees. The Lord who only gives mercy to the devotees. Then another meaning, my Lord, you only give mercy to others through your devotees. It's the second meaning. And the third meaning, sadanugraha, my Lord, whose mercy is the devotee. Now we want to explore and examine what is the significance of each one of these meanings. When we have the good fortune to hear and study Srimad Bhagavatam under the guidance of Guru and pure Vaishnavas, this is a very marvelous occasion. Mahaprabhu said, Prati shloke, prati akshare, nana artakaya. Every verse, no, every letter of Srimad Bhagavatam has many, many meanings. Srimad Bhagavatanam aswado rasikai saha. Hearing Srimad Bhagavatam doesn't mean listening to a tape. Rupa Goswami said, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam means tasting the many, many meanings of each word of Srimad Bhagavatam in the company of Rasik Vaishnavas. So here, in the verse, Krishna has been called Duman, Duman,
Dyuman means effulgent sun. Krishna, you are effulgent like the sun. The deep meaning of this is that shadows cannot exist in the presence of the sun. So, Krishna Surya Sama Maya Haya Andhakar Yahan Krishna Tahan Nahi Maya Adhikar. Krishna is like the sun and Maya, illusion, is like darkness. Now, when we speak of anugrahaya, when we speak of compassion, what is compassion? Compassion is a movement of the heart that we feel when we see a person in pain and in suffering. When we understand, we feel their pain, and our heart is moved, this is called compassion. So in this verse, Krishna is called sadanugraha. He gives his compassion to the saints only, not to anyone else. Why? Because just as shadows cannot exist in the sun, the sufferings of the living beings in the material world, which are all Maya, the products of Maya, they are not perceived in the consciousness of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Understand? Generally we project our human, in this anthropomorphism, we project our own human perspective onto God. But we have to understand Krishna through the ears, hearing Shastra. Krishna himself has manifested the Vedas so that we may understand him. So, because Krishna is playing in the spiritual world, he is Sachidananda, he is the spiritual sun. Chidanandam Jyoti Param. He is the spiritual sun, full of Ananda. So the sufferings of the living beings, he has no awareness of them. So what happens? You can see everywhere in the Shastra where the reasons for the appearance of Krishna have been described. What does it say? Paritranaya sadhunam. To deliver the sadhus. In Bhagavad Gita, yes. And in the end of the Rasa Lila, anugrahaya bhaktanam manasam dayamasritaha bhajate tadrishi krido yasutva tatparo bhavet. Krishna has performed the Rasa Lila to give mercy to the sadhus, the bhaktas, pure devotees. So, because Krishna is the spiritual sun and is never touched by Maya, therefore he is oblivious to the Mayak, the sufferings of the living entities which are Mayak. He is not in contact with anything which is ontologically, constitutionally different from his own Swarup. You see? So when bhakti appears in the heart of a devotee, this bhakti is Swarup Shakti. And therefore, the pain of the devotee, oh Krishna, where are you? Hey Radhe Vraja Devike Jalalite, hey Nanda Suno Kuta. When the devotee cries, oh son of Nandamaj, oh Lalita, oh Radhika, this pain is not Mayak pain. It's not a suffering produced by Maya. It's a kind of suffering which is a type of ecstasy, which is of Swarup Shakti, not different from Krishna's Swarup. Ontologically not different from his Swarup. Ha ha mura pranata murali vada kaham karo kalpa brajendananda kare kahiva kevo jani mura duka brajendananda pinu pate find you? Where can I go? To whom can I speak? And who will understand the extent of my disappointment? Without Krishna, my heart is breaking. So the pain of the devotee is a manifestation, it is a mood of separation. It is a manifestation of bhakti, Swarup Shakti, being ontologically non-different from Krishna's Swarup. Krishna can feel the suffering of the devotee. And therefore, feeling that suffering, his heart melts and anugraha comes. And therefore, sadanugraha bhavan, the first meaning. Right? You only give your mercy to the devotees. Then the next meaning. You who only gives mercy through the devotees. Now, devotees are of different types. Those who are Nitya Siddha, eternally liberated and perfect, they're also completely in the shelter of Krishna's Swarup Shakti. They have no experience of suffering. So their hearts cannot melt. Only for other devotees who have begun and gone deeply into sadhana and Swarup Shakti as a period, they can identify with their suffering in separation from Krishna. So those devotees who they were in the material world before, when they enter deeply into bhakti, then they experience the joy of spiritual life. But there's a slight shadow in the form of the remembrance of what it was like to be suffering in the material world. Just as a person who had a bad dream, when they wake up, the dream is over. So they have no problem. But a little shadow in their mind, they can think what it was like. So those sadhus who are moving in this world, they feel great compassion for the general living beings. And when another a soul in this world approaches them in a mood which is called Dainyatmik Sharanapati, a spirit of surrender, of taking shelter, which is Dainyatmik, that is completely saturated with feelings of humility. Dainya means humility, but it comes from the word dina, which means wretchedness, destituteness. So when a soul in this world takes shelter of a sadhu, but that shelter is saturated with the feelings of one's own misfortune, one's wretchedness, one's fallen, insignificant condition, a recognition of one's ineligibility, then this Dainyatmik Sharanapati causes the bhakti in the heart of the sadhu to become utschalit. It means full of waves. Waves appear. And it overflows and goes to that jiva. And this is how our nature, which was previously very tightly under the control of three gunas, Daivya Gunamayi, Mama Maya, Duratteya, Mahameva Ye Prapadyante, very difficult, impossible to give up our nature, which is forced upon us by our contamination with the gunas. Nahi kaschittanamapi jatu tistatchikamakrit karyase yavasha karma guna prakriti jaya sarvag prakriti jaya guna. Krishna said to Arjuna, in this world any soul cannot refrain from activity even for a moment. Why? Karyatehi avasha. Because the living beings are forced to act helplessly. Hyavasha means without control, they're helpless. Everyone is forced to act helplessly according to the contamination of the 3 gunas that they have acquired in many lives in this world. So how can that nature be given up? Only when the soul gets the shelter of Bhakti Shakti. So in this material world there is no Bhakti. But it is there in the heart of the pure devotees. When we take shelter in a mood of extreme humility, then that Bhakti in the heart becomes uschalik, full of waves, and the waves overflow and comes to us, and our conditioned nature is washed away, and our spiritual nature is awakened. Therefore, Sadhu-Sanga is essential. So the first meaning was sadanugraha bhavan. Oh Krishna, you are only merciful to your devotee. Second meaning, you only give mercy through your devotees. And now the third meaning, the devotees are your mercy. So, because if you only look at the first meaning, Krishna, you give your mercy to the devotees but not to anyone else, then someone will think, wow, that's not very nice. Krishna's not giving, he doesn't feel mercy for anyone in the material world. How is it possible? So, it is like that because of the ontology of Krishna's Swarup and the nature of Bhakti. But don't think that Krishna has neglected us, that he doesn't care about us, that he's not made an arrangement for our deliverance. He has made an arrangement. In other words, his mercy comes to us in the form of the sadhu. So sadanugraha. You whose mercy is the sadhu. Samsara dava nalarita loka Traya karunya gana ganatam Pratasya kalyana gunavasya Vandile gurosi charanavinda Guru Krishna rupa hiya shastra pramane Guru rupe Krishna kripa Karen Bhaktagane means that if you're on the land, you're in the very far away inland, far away from the ocean, then the ocean cannot touch you. But the water of the ocean takes the form of a cloud and travels across the land, and then that same water is coming from the cloud onto the dry land. So in the same way, Krishna is Karuna Sindhu. He's the ocean of mercy. But he's not directly giving mercy. Rather, his mercy condenses and becomes a cloud and comes to us in the form of pure devotees. And therefore, without Sadhu-Sanga, in the history of the universe, in the past, the present and the future, no one ever got Bhakti without Sadhu-Sanga. Krishna himself, he has described the different types of sadhus to Uddhava. In the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is almost the end of Krishna's Prakat Lila in this world. All Yadu dynasty have been destroyed. And Krishna is sitting near the shore of the ocean in Prabhas. And someone comes running towards him with tears in his eyes. Who was it? Uddhava. Krishna told Uddhava before he left Dwarka, I want you to go to Badrikashram. Yes, my Prabhu. And then Krishna went to Prabhas, but Uddhava could not take himself away from Krishna, and at the distance he followed him. And he approached Krishna there. Uddhava knew that, oh, just now Krishna will become aprakat, unmanifest from this world. So before leaving, Krishna gave his supreme instructions to Uddhava. Very beautiful. And he was describing different levels of devotees. And as he described higher and higher and higher types of devotees, then Krishna, he remembered the gopis of Vraja. They are the greatest sadhus. He said, Mat kama ramanam jaram aswarupa vidobalaha brahmamam parama prabhu sangat shatta sahasrasaha. You know, this is not the first time that Uddhava has described the gopis to, Krishna has described the gopis to Uddhava. After Krishna had killed Kams Maharaj and returned from his education in Gurukul and came back to Mathura, Krishna was very concerned about the Brijvasis, that they're suffering in separation from him. So he thought, I have to send someone with a message. So he took Uddhava by the hand and told him, Gats to Uddhava Prajam Sonya Pitro Now Vitimama Gopinam Mat Viyogadim Mat Sandeshara Vimocha. Go to Vraja Uddhava and bring some solace to our parents. And the gopis who are suffering in separation from me, release them from that suffering by delivering my messages. Then Krishna, to encourage Uddhava, to create a greed in him, because he knows it's very difficult for Uddhava to separate himself from Krishna. So how to encourage Uddhava to leave him and go to Vraja? Krishna began to glorify the gopis. Taman manaska mat prana Madarte Chaktadaika Mameva Daitam Pristam Atmanam Manasagata Ye Chaktaloka Dharmascha Marate Tan Vibharyam. So many verses Krishna described the love of gopis to inspire Uddhava to go there. But now, at the end of Krishna Lila, again Krishna is describing the glories of gopis to Uddhava. Is there some Vaishistya? Is there some speciality between these two descriptions? Or is Krishna repeating himself? The truth is that Krishna's final description of the gopis is superior to the first description. Why? Because when Krishna first glorified the love of gopis to Uddhava, he was sending him to Vrindavan. And what Krishna will say to Uddhava, Uddhava may tell to the gopis. So Krishna has to be very careful to not say anything to Uddhava which might give pain to the gopis. But now, at the end of his lila, after this Uddhava is going to Badrikashram, not to Vrindavan. And anyway, gopis all became aprakat by now. So now Krishna can say to Uddhava what he really feels. If Krishna will say, if Krishna had told Uddhava when he sent him from Mathura the first time, I don't even want to live without my gopis, I cannot stay alive without them. I am feeling extreme pain. Then if Uddhava told this to the gopis, then it would be very difficult for them to stay alive. So it was practical for the gopis' bhav. It was against the gopis' bhav, and it would not have pacified their separation. So Krishna could not say that in the beginning. But now at the end of the Leela, he can say what he really feels. And Krishna is impelled to speak it. Why? To remove the katinata dosh. Katinata means harshness, the hardness of his heart. By not expressing his heart and saying how much he really loves the gopis, he'll be at fault for hard-heartedness. So Krishna has spoken this description in the 11th canto to remove the dosh, the defect of his own katinata, hardness of his heart. He said, Mat kama ramanam jara. There are two prominent meanings of this verse. The first meaning is, the gopis, they desired me, not kama, ramanam jaram, as their Raman, their beloved, their lover. So, husband can be called Raman also. No harm. Husband is also the beloved. But jaram, jara, means paramo. Not kama ramanam jaram. The gopis desired me in a way that was beyond all rules and regulations of the Vedas. They did not care that they were married or anything. Only they wanted to serve and please me. Not kama ramanam jaram. Aswarupa vidobala. And these abalaha means ladies or girls. Because it said boys are called bala, strong. And girls are abal, they are weak. So female is called abala in Sanskrit. So these young ladies, Aswarupa Vido, they did not know Swarup. Aswarupa Vido. They were knowers of Aswarup, not of the Swarup. So it has many meanings. One is, they did not know Atma Tattva. It's important in our spiritual life to know Atma Tattva, that we are not this body. But even those who can understand, I am not this body, still for them it's very difficult to understand, I am not this mind, Ling Shariya, Shukshma, the subtle body. Still we identify with it so much. So, but these gopis of Vrindavan, they did not know Atma Tattva. They are like religious. Another meaning, Asrupa Vidobala, means they did not know that I am Bhagavan. They have no idea that I am Bhagavan. And what happened? Brahmam Parama Prabhu Sangat Shata Sahasrasa. Still, hundreds and hundreds of thousands, Sata Sahasra, hundreds of thousands of gopis attained me. They came to me, and I am Parabrahma, the supreme transcendental truth. They went beyond this world and attained me, the supreme transcendental truth, as their paramo, by my association. So this is one meaning of the verse. Another meaning is that Shata Sahasrasa, thousands of avala, female persons, Krishna is saying, attained me as their paramour by Sangat Shata Sahasrata, by association with the gopis. Even though they did not know anything. In other words, perhaps you know, Gopis have said, Purna Pulinda Urkaya Padabjagar Shri Kumkumaina Daitastana Manditena Tadarshanaspara Rujastrina Rushitena Limpanta Anana Kucheshu Jaustadadi. O Sakhi, the Aborigine girls who live in the forest, junglis, they're from the Pulindi tribe. They have no education, they're not even anywhere in Varnashram Dharma, they're outcast. They're from a wild tribe. But when they're wandering at Govardhan and they see the grass there, and they notice on the grass there's a red powder. It is a kumkum, the cosmetic from the breast of Krishna's beloved. And when Krishna was walking there, from that cosmetic was on his feet and it touched the grass. And then Krishna passed by. Those Pulindi girls came and they took that kumkum. And when they smelt it, they became overwhelmed by intense feelings of amorous love for Krishna. So they split it all over their faces and bodies. And by the touch of this kumkum, then all their desires were completely satisfied. So here, Mat Kama Ramanam Jhanam Sangha Shata Sahasrada, by Sangha, by association with the gopis, not even directly, only by touching the kumkum which had touched the gopis. Oh, thousands and thousands of persons who have no knowledge whatsoever of Tattva, Atma Tattva, Krishna Tattva, anything, they attained Parabrahma in their Swarup and became his Paramos in the spiritual world. So here Krishna himself is glorifying the power of Sadhu-Sanga, and at the list of all the sadhus, he puts gopis as the high, they are the highest of all sadhus. Srila Sanatana Goswami he's explained the secret reason why Krishna has described the gopis in his list of different levels of sadhus. And by doing this, he has removed the katinata dosh, the defect of harshness of his heart. It is quite astonishing how our acharyas, like Srila Sanatana Goswami, when they hear Srimad Bhagavatam, when they read Srimad Bhagavatam, their hearts are so soft, they can feel the most subtle nuances of Krishna's feelings within his words. Perhaps you know that in the 9th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there the Vasarishi has made an offense to Ambarish Maharaj. And for this he was chased all over the universe for 1 year by the Sudarshan Chakra. And when he came to Lord Narayan and fell at his feet, he said, "Please save me." Lord Narayan said, "No." "What? You don't have any mercy for me?" And then Krishna said, "Yes, mercy comes from the heart. But my heart has been stolen by my sadhu. Sadhavo vidayam mayam sadhana vidayam." So if you want my mercy, you go to my sadhus. Mercy comes from the heart, and my heart has been stolen. So you come to the wrong place. So then he told Durvasa Rishi, "Naham atmanam ashase madbhakta sadhubi bina sriyam chatyam tikim brahman yesham gatir aham para." Very important verse. He's expressing his love for his devotees. He said, "Naham atmanam ashase." I don't want to enjoy my opulences, my Sri. I don't want to enjoy the goddess of fortune. I don't even desire to feel the happiness of my own Atma, of my own soul, my own life, without my devotees, for whom I am the supreme shelter. So here Krishna has expressed that I have no desire to live without my devotees. Now someone may say, he said, I don't desire even to enjoy Shri, the goddess of fortune, without my devotee. So Radharani and the gopis are in the category of Shri. Chintamani prakara sadma sukalpa vriksha laksha vrisheshu surabira vipalayantam Lakshmi sahasra satasam. Gopis are called Lakshmi. Even this verse, Purna Pulinda Urudaya Parataraga Shri Kumkumena. Radhika is called Shri in this verse. So if someone will raise the question that Krishna, he has no desire to enjoy Shri, and gopis and Radhika are in that category without his sadhus, then sadhus are in the highest position. And therefore, when Krishna described the sadhus to Uddhava in different levels, when he got to the top, then he put gopis in that category. They are not only in the category of Shri, but the gopis are in the category of sadhu. And so combining this verse, Matkama Ramanam Dhyaram, and the other verse of the 9th canto, Nahamat Mahanam Ashase, then Krishna has implied that, oh Uddhava, I don't want to live even without Radhika and the gopis of Vrindavan. It had never been told before. But Krishna had to say it finally before leaving this world, to remove the dosh, the defect of heart, harshness from his heart. So praise gopis, they are the greatest sadhus. They also come into this world as our Guru Parampara. Sangaksasa Sahasrada, and even so many wild and jungly people can attain the eternal service of Radha Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan by their association. All these meanings are there. So there are many other things flowing out from this verse, but we've run out of time today. We'll try to talk more tomorrow. So I just want to summarize, because this is not holiday camp. This is a Bhakti University. So in our seminar today, we first discussed the principle that Sadhu-Sanga is essential, which is sometimes accepted or not accepted. But then we have shown on the basis of Siddhanta, so that those who accept this principle can accept it not in a dogmatic way, but understanding ontologically why the Sadhu-Sanga is absolutely essential and mercy does not come in any other form. And then we have shown that the supreme among all sadhus, they are the gopis of Vrindavan. And even Krishna, who gives life to all existence, doesn't want to live without Srimati Radhika. Gaur Premanam. So are there any questions? Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, you said that in order to be concerned with the condition of the fallen souls in this material world, there has to be a slight shadow, or you said this example, the dream, that's still there, that how it is to be like a conditioned soul. And how can I understand it that the Nitya Siddha Jivas coming from Radharani's blessings to us, so in order to help us, can it be understood that the Leela they perform in the material world is like, in the beginning might be a conditioned soul, and in order to understand us, or how it is to understand
the liberated souls can never actually be in Maya or condition. But they do a Leela of seemingly being conditioned and becoming liberated again. Like Raghunath Das Goswami. He's eternally liberated. But when he tells, I am so fallen, I have not attained the goal of my life. When he has a darshan of Radha and Krishna for the first time and then they disappear and he's crying. Of course it's not the first time, because he's eternally with them there. And also when he comes here, He's coming in all the universes with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But still, in order to create, for that lila to go on, there's that type of experience.
So can we say that at the same time they are Nitya Siddha, they're also Sadhan Siddha? From an external point of view?
They may be Nitya Siddha playing the role of Sadhana Siddha.
But the question is, how do they have compassion for the suffering? Because you said Sadhana Siddha have that lingering dream, like what about Nitya Siddha?
As a general rule, the sadhus who are wandering in the world today, they have Swayam Samuttirtha, means they themselves have crossed over. Another question?
You explained that.
Oh, on this point, one more thing. If a sadhana siddha becomes siddha, though he is sadhana siddha, his bhava is nitya siddha. Because that's the nature of bhava. Kriti sadhya bhavet sadhya bhava sasasnavya nitya siddhasya bhava saprakatam. So also reconciling this one. Yes, Prabhu.
So you explained that because Krishna is in his Swarup, and this is like the sun, and there can be no shadow, so he does not experience the Maya suffering of the jivas. But then again, you explained that he is feeling through his devotees, or he's connected, because his Swarup Shakti is in the hearts of his devotees. He is experiencing their suffering, which is actually the separation from him, the separation feelings.
Oh, no, these are two categories. Once the Swarup Shakti has entered a devotee in this world, now Krishna can feel his suffering, because the separation, the pain that he's feeling is not a Mayic pain. It's coming from Swarup Shakti itself. This is one category. And then those devotees who are in the shelter of that, but they have a remembrance of what it was before, when the conditioned souls approach them in a feeling of humility, then that ecstasy becomes uchalit, full of waves, and overflows to them. So Krishna's mercy doesn't go directly from Krishna to the conditioned soul, it comes through the sadhus in this world.
Exactly this point I want to understand more clearly. At that point, does Krishna also feel something or notice something about that conditioned soul, or is it mainly already stored in the sadhu and flows to the jiva?
Well, he said, Sadanga Sharagati Hoibi Jaha Tahara Pratanashini Srinanda Kumar. Krishna cannot hear the prayers of those who are not surrendered. So until the living being surrenders, then Krishna does not hear the prayers. And Paramatma, that's why it said in the heart. It's not said that Krishna is in the heart of everyone. It says Paramatma is in the heart of everyone. Because Paramatma is neutral. And when the living entity is neutral, in regard to God, he's not turning towards God, he's not inspired. So, Yayatama Prapadyante Tanstataiva Bhajameham. Krishna reciprocates with everyone, so he's present in their heart in a neutral form. If the living entity is detached from him, Paramatma is present in a detached form. And he's just fulfilling the desires of the living entities and the karma. Upadrasta anumantascha. This is different. But when the living entity surrenders to Krishna through his representative, the sadhu, now the form Yayatama Prapadyante. This form, because Paramatma is Krishna in one sense, but not manifesting fully. Now Krishna is in the heart. Santak Sadeva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti. So, in the first song of Sharnagati, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj, hears the prayers only of those who have taken shelter of him by the 6 limbs of Sharnagati. Anything? Yes?
Krishna, he was married in Dwarka with 6,000 princesses. Actually he was in every palace
Yes.
He never pass at the same time. So why he would not be also in Vrindavan? Yeah, but how to say, at the same time, if he can manifest himself in this way, he can be also.
Oh, why he could not be in Vrindavan at the same time when he was in Dwarka?
Yes.
Yeah. This is a very big topic. Actually, in the spiritual world, Krishna is present in 4 dhams simultaneously. The 4 dhams are Golok, where Krishna is present and there is a mood of opulence and knowledge of his Godhood. Higher than that is Dwarka. Higher than that is Mathura, and higher than that is Gokul or Vrindavan. That is known as Goloka Vrindavan or Goloka Sthita Vrindavan, the Vrindavan which is the innermost portion of the Goloka planet, wherein there is a Swarupa Vidobala, no idea of who Krishna is, of his position of being Bhagavan. So in the spiritual world, Krishna is present in all the dhams at the same time. Therefore the scripture says, Vrindavanam Pratyagya Vanamekam Nagachati, that Krishna never steps 1 foot outside of Vrindavan. However, when Krishna manifests the Leela here, then he displays these dhams one at a time. He displays his Leela from that world here, one at a time, in a sequence. Even that Golok Vrindavan is not one place, but it has multiple dimensions. And in one dimension he's a baby. In another he's 1 year old. In another dimension he's 2. In another dimension he's 3. In another he's 4. It's like this. So all of his ages are also present there. Otherwise, Madhya Yashoda, always with the teenager, the Vatsalya Rasa won't be completely manifested in the spiritual world. She has to have a baby and give breast milk. And dress him and wipe his nose. So in the spiritual world, all the ages of Krishna and all the dhams are present, and he's present in all of them, and each one is called a Prakash. Each dimension is called Prakash. So that there are different Prakashas called Prakash Ved, different Prakashas. Now, what is the relationship between Aprakat Leela, the Leela there, and the Leela here? And the answer is, that Leela here is that Leela there. But it's one Prakash shown after another. First when Krishna is 1, then when he's 2, then when he's 3, like that. And so the Prakashas are shown in a sequence that gives everyone the impression that Krishna is growing. And this is why Mayavadis and others, they reject that Krishna cannot be Bhagavan. Because the Vedas say that the ultimate truth is nirvikar. It does not undergo transformation. But Krishna is undergoing transformation, is growing. This is just a mundane perspective. No, Krishna's form is eternal and unchanging. But he's showing all the forms from each Prakash, one by one in a sequence in this world. And when one appears, the previous one disappears. And when that one disappears, the next one appears. And it gives the sense of continuity of Krishna growing. And so when we see the Leela in this world and the dhams are shown in a sequence, then we have Krishna doing Vrindavan Leela, then he goes to Mathura, and there's no Leela in the Vrindavan, which is left behind. In this world. In there, he's still there. And then from Mathura he goes to Dwarka. From Dwarka he comes back to Mathura and kills Dantavakra, and then after killing Dantavakra he comes back to Vrindavan. All this is explained in Rupa Goswami's Laghu Bhagavatamrita. So it is said in this world there is Gaman Agaman, coming and going. Coming and going. But the great mystery of Srimad Bhagavatam is that when Krishna leaves Vrindavan and goes to Mathura, then the gopis are crying in separation. Where did this Leela come from? Because in the spiritual world he never leaves. But due to the influence of Mahabhav and the Prem by Chitya, even in the Nitya Lila, the gopis have the fear that Krishna may leave, because that's the nature of prem, it makes intense anxiety. Pida vina vakala kuta katata garavasya nirvasano nisyandena sudam mudam sudha madurimahankara sankochana prema sundari nanda nandana paro jagati yasyantare gyayante sputamasya vakramakar madarashtainaiva vikrantaya. Purnamasideviya said, this praying, who can know it? Only those in whose heart has appeared can know the crooked and the sweet effects of this praying when it attacks the heart. When this praying attacks the heart, then Garvasya Nirvasano, it steals away the pride of the power of a fresh poison of a serpent to inflict pain. If you have poison of a serpent, it's been in a jar on the shelf for 5 years. It's not as powerful as the fresh poison, straight from the lips of the serpent. So this praying is like that, painful, like more painful than fresh poison of a serpent. And nisyandena mudam sudha madurimahankara sankochana. And also Amrita, the nectar of heaven. If it will pour down on your head like rain, then you'll feel joy. But the joy that this praying causes makes the ahankara, the ego of nectar, become sankoch. Diminished, become shy, hesitant. The ego of the nectar is contracted. Because this pleasure of praying for Krishna is so intense. And these two, the effect of poison, the poisonous effect, and the nectarian effect of praying is mixed together. People are thinking, I want to get praying. Find out what praying is first. Srila Guru Maharaj used to say, this praying is so powerful. Can your heart hold it? He said if you can put the milk of a cow in a clay pot, but the milk of a lioness you cannot keep in a clay pot. The clay pot will To store the milk of a lioness you need a golden pot. So similarly, if this praying will come, cannot contain it, your heart will have to become like a golden pot. Before even a drop of this praying will appear. So golden, the heart which is like a golden pot means Tanarapi Sunichena, Tarorapi Vishnuna, Amarina Mamadena Kitanya Sadhari. Then it can withstand a little drop of this praying. So in the spiritual world, the gopis, they feel joy, but they feel pain as well, and they become lost in feelings of separation. You know, Yugaitam Nimeshena Chakshusha Pravishaitam. When they're in separation, one moment, one blink of an eye seems to last for thousands of years. So what do gopis experience in those thousands of years? Sometimes they experience a Akrura has come. He has not come, it's just a feeling. And that feeling from the Aprakat Lila manifests here in this world. The feeling, it's a bhav. Manifests here. So when in this world, when Krishna leaves Vrindavan, the Vrindavan which is left behind is also from there, but not manifest there, it's a feeling from there. It's a feeling inside there. And when these gopis in this world are crying in separation from Krishna, and they faint, then when they faint, why do they faint? Because inside they're experiencing meeting with Krishna. And this meeting that they experience is the Aprakat Lila, where they're always meeting with Him. In other words, the Prakat Lila here is a bhav of the Aprakat Lila, and the Aprakat Lila there is a bhav of the Prakat Lila here. I don't know if you have understood or not. But those who have been doing bhajan for many years, they can. So this is the meaning of the Chatusloki Bhagavatam. Yatama hanti bhutani bhute sutjavarjesenu pravistana pravistani tatateshina tesham. Just as the elements enter into the creation and also remain outside. So similarly, oh, outside is Krishna's Prakat Lila and inside is the Apakat Lila. This is the Prem Tattva of Chatusloki Bhagavatam. And so if you cannot understand it, is my inability to express these things. But who can express it? These things are... Mahaprabhu said, Krishna's Kaviraj in Chaitanya Charitamrita, he said, I want to tell the Leela of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but actually it should not be spoken. Because if anyone would tell this truth, everyone would think that he's mad. But a madman, anyway, has no discrimination and cannot stop himself from speaking. So here we go, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Gaura Premanand. Let's sing one kirtan. Harikata is going away, so we have to sing kirtan for Harikata and pray that Harikata will come back again tomorrow.